buckle up everyone, because today we're diving into the world of AI agents.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be a fun one.
We hear about them everywhere, but what exactly are they? How do they work? And what's all the hype about?
Well, we've got some fantastic reports here to help us break it all down. We've got the World Economic Forum, Deloitte Oracle, and even a special guide just for AI agents in retail.
Wow, that's quite the stack.
Yeah, a lot to unpack today.
All right, so let's start with the basics. What exactly is an AI agent?
You know, it's not just another chatbot,
All
right?
right.
We're talking about a whole new level of intelligent systems.
Okay, so what makes them so different?
Well, the World Economic Forum report really hits the nail on the head.
Hmm.
AI agents are all about autonomy. They can sense their environment, make decisions, and take action, all without us humans constantly holding their hands.
So they're like little digital workers running around getting things done.
That's a great way to put it. They have sensors to gather information, a control center, which acts like their brain to process it all, and then effectors to actually take action in the real world.
So it's not just about responding to a single command. They're constantly gathering data, making decisions, and then acting on those decisions.
Exactly. And here's the really cool part. They also have memory, which means they can learn from their past experiences and adapt their behavior over time.
Wow, so they're constantly getting smarter.
Precisely. That's what makes them so powerful.
Okay, so we've got the basic definition down, but I'm curious about the evolution of AI agents. How do we get from those early clunky chatbots to these super sophisticated systems we're talking about today?
Yeah, it's been quite the journey. The World Economic Forum highlights how early AI agents were mostly rule-based systems, kind of like a complex set of if-then statements.
So they could only do what they were specifically programmed to do.
Exactly. Their ability to handle new or unexpected situations was pretty limited.
But then came the rise of machine learning and deep learning.
You got it. That's when things really started to take off.
So how did those technologies change the game?
Well, machine learning gave agents the ability to learn from data without explicit programming. So instead of us having to tell them exactly what to do, they could start to figure things out on their own.
That's amazing.
Right. And then deep learning took that a step further by enabling them to process vast amounts of unstructured data like images and text.
Okay, so they were getting much better at understanding the world around them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But the real game changer in recent years has been the emergence of large language models, or LLMs.
LLMs, I've heard that term thrown around a lot lately.
Yeah, they're kind of a big deal. The World Economic Forum points to 2017 as a turning point with the development of models like GPT-3.
What's so special about these LLMs?
Well, they can understand and generate human-like text with incredible accuracy.
So we're not just talking about pre-programmed responses anymore. These agents can hold actual conversations, understand complex concepts, and even generate creative text formats like poems or code.
Exactly. They've supercharged the capabilities of AI agents, enabling them to perform tasks that were previously unimaginable.
That's mind-blowing. So are LLMs like the brains behind these super smart AI agents?
You could say that they're definitely a key component in enabling agents to understand and interact with the world in a much more sophisticated way.
Okay, so we've talked about what AI agents are and how they've evolved, but I'm curious about the different types of agents out there. Are they all created equal, or are there different levels of complexity?
Great question. Not all agents are the same. The World Economic Forum breaks down agent types by their level of sophistication, starting with the simplest kind, the reflex agents.
Reflex agents.
Yeah.
Okay, what do they do?
These guys operate purely on current input. They react to the immediate situation without any memory of past events. Think of a thermostat adjusting the temperature based on the current reading, or a simple chatbot that responds to keywords without really understanding the context.
I got it. So they're like basic responders just reacting to what's happening right now.
Exactly. Then we move up the ladder to model-based reflex agents.
Model-based. So they have a model of the world in their little digital heads.
You got it. They have a simple internal model that allows them to track past experiences and use that information to make better decisions.
So they're learning and adapting as they go.
Right. Imagine a robot vacuum cleaner that learns the layout of your house over time. It can avoid obstacles and clean more efficiently with each run because it's building up a picture of its environment.
That makes sense. So what's the next level up?
We then have goal-based agents. These are even more sophisticated because they have a specific goal in mind and plan their actions to achieve that goal.
Oh, so they're not just responding to stimuli. They're actively working towards a desired outcome.
Precisely. Think of a chess AI that analyzes the board and calculates a series of moves to achieve checkmate. It's not just reacting, it's planning and strategizing.
That's fascinating. Okay, what about the most advanced type?
Well, according to the World Economic Forum, the top tier is the utility-based agent.
Utility-based, what makes them so special?
These agents go beyond simple goals. They consider multiple objectives, balancing trade-offs, and handling uncertainty to maximize their overall utility.
Utility, like
Yeah.
usefulness or value.
Exactly. Imagine an autonomous car navigating traffic. It needs to consider speed, safety, passenger comfort, and even things like fuel efficiency, all while adapting to unpredictable road conditions and the behavior of other drivers.
Wow, that's a lot to juggle.
It is. These utility-based agents are designed to handle complex, real-world scenarios where there's no easy answer.
It sounds like these are the agents that will really drive those transformative applications we were talking about earlier.
Absolutely. As AI agents become more sophisticated, they're being used to tackle increasingly complex problems, leading to a whole range of exciting possibilities across various industries.
This is all incredibly fascinating, but let's take a break for now, and when we come back, we'll dive into some real-world examples of AI agents in action and explore the business implications of this rapidly evolving technology. All right, so let's jump into some real-world examples now.
You bet.
Where are we seeing AI agents making the biggest impact these days?
Well, businesses are catching on fast, and the applications are popping up everywhere, from streamlining those boring back office tasks to completely changing the customer experience.
I can only imagine.
Yeah. The Deloitte report actually highlights several key areas where AI agents are already making a big splash. And one of the most obvious ones is retail.
Retail makes sense. I mean, you could personalize recommendations, manage inventory, maybe even handle customer service inquiries, all with AI agents, right?
Exactly. Imagine someone shopping for clothes online. An AI agent could look at their past purchases, their browsing history, even what they're into on social media to suggest items they might like. It's all about creating that super personalized shopping experience.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then on the business side, AI agents can do things like optimize pricing, manage inventory levels, even predict future demand. It all leads to more efficiency and bigger profits.
Sounds like a win-win for everyone.
Right. It's about making the experience better for the customer while also making the business run smoother.
Okay, so retail's a big one. What other industries are embracing AI agents?
Well, Deloitte mentions financial services as another area ripe for disruption.
Financial services, that's a big one.
It is. AI agents are already being used to automate tasks like fraud detection, risk assessment, even personalized financial advice.
It's like having a personal financial advisor available 24/7.
Exactly. They can analyze market trends, monitor investments, and even alert you to potential opportunities or risks, all without you having to lift a finger.
That would be pretty handy.
Right. And it could make financial services much more accessible to people who don't have the time or the money to work with a traditional advisor.
Okay, so we've got retail financial services. What about more complex tasks like writing reports or managing huge projects?
You're right. AI agents aren't just for simple stuff. Deloitte actually highlights how companies are using them to automate those complex processes like data analysis, report generation, even decision making in things like supply chain management and logistics.
So they're moving up in the world.
They are. And as they get more sophisticated, they can handle even more complex tasks, which frees up humans to focus on the strategic and creative stuff.
That's the dream, right?
It is. It's all about using AI to augment human capabilities, not replace them.
Okay, I get that. But what are those jobs that require a human touch,
Hmm.
like customer service or HR? Can AI agents really handle that?
That's a great question. And the Oracle report actually dives into this topic. They argue that AI agents are actually enhancing human capabilities in these areas, not replacing them.
Enhancing? How so?
Well, take HR, for example. AI agents can streamline tasks like answering employee questions about benefits, scheduling meetings, even providing personalized onboarding experiences.
So instead of replacing HR professionals, they're acting as assistants.
Exactly. They handle the routine stuff, which frees up the humans to focus on more strategic initiatives.
That makes sense. What about customer service?
Well, their AI agents can provide instant support through chatbots and virtual assistants. They can answer common questions and resolve simple issues without any human intervention.
So customers get faster service, and human agents are free to handle the more complex cases.
Right. It's all about improving efficiency and creating a more satisfying experience for everyone involved.
Okay, so AI agents are being used across so many different industries, but I want to go a little deeper into the technical side. How do these different types of agents actually work together in a real-world setting?
Ah, good question. The Oracle report has some great insights into this. They talk about a framework where multiple agent types work together to achieve a common goal.
Multiple agent types.
Yeah.
So it's like a team effort.
Exactly. They describe four main types: conversational agents, functional agents, supervisory agents, and utility agents. And each one plays a specific role in getting the job done.
Okay, let's break that down. What do conversational agents do?
Well, think of them as the interface between the AI system and the outside world. They're the ones that interact with humans, typically through chatbots, virtual assistants, or even voice-activated systems.
So they're like the frontline communicators figuring out what the user wants.
Right. They receive input from users, interpret their requests, and then pass that information on to other agents for processing.
So they're like the middleman.
In a way. And once the conversational agent has gathered the necessary information, it hands things over to the functional agents.
Functional agents, what do they do?
These are the specialists. They're designed to perform specific tasks within a particular domain.
Like little digital experts.
Exactly. Oracle gives examples like a hiring manager agent that screens resumes and schedules interviews, or a field service agent that diagnoses equipment failures and dispatches technicians.
So you've got all these specialized agents working on different parts of a problem. But how do they coordinate their efforts?
That's where the supervisory agents come in.
Supervisory agents. They're like the bosses.
You could say that. They oversee the entire process, making decisions about which agents to activate and ensuring that everything runs smoothly.
So they're like the project managers.
Precisely. They break down complex goals into smaller tasks, assign those tasks to the appropriate agents, and monitor progress along the way.
It's like a big job.
It is. They're also the ones that decide when to loop in a human for feedback or intervention, making sure that the AI system stays aligned with human goals and values.
That's really important. We don't want the AI running off and doing its own thing.
Exactly. And finally, we have the utility agents.
Utility agents, what do they do?
Think of them as the workhorses of the system. They perform specific functions like accessing databases, sending emails, or generating reports.
So they're the ones actually getting their digital hands dirty.
You could say that they carry out the instructions from the supervisory agents and provide the data and insights needed to keep things moving forward.
So it's a real team effort with all these different agents working together.
Exactly. And the beauty of it is that it's incredibly adaptable. As new agents are developed and new technologies emerge, they can be easily integrated into the framework, allowing the system to evolve and improve over time.
That's really impressive. But before we move on, I want to touch on something that both Deloitte and Oracle emphasize: the importance of responsible AI.
Oh, absolutely. That's crucial.
As AI agents become more powerful and more common, we need to make sure they're developed and used in a way that aligns with our values and ethical principles.
Couldn't agree more. It's not just about the tech itself, it's about using it in a way that benefits everyone.
Right. So what are some of the key considerations when it comes to responsible AI development?
Well, both reports highlight several important factors, and one of the big ones is data privacy.
Data privacy. That's a hot topic these days.
It is. And for good reason, AI agents rely on massive amounts of data to learn and make decisions, so we need to make sure that data is collected and used responsibly with proper safeguards to protect people's privacy.
Makes sense. We don't want these AI agents snooping around and violating people's privacy.
Exactly. And another key consideration is bias.
Bias? How does that play into AI development?
Well, AI agents can actually inherit biases from the data they're trained on.
Oh, so if the data is biased, the AI agent will be biased too.
Right. And that can lead to unfair or discriminatory outcomes. So it's crucial to carefully audit these systems and mitigate any potential biases to ensure they're making decisions that are fair and equitable for everyone.
That's a really important point. We
Yeah.
don't want to create AI systems that perpetuate existing societal biases or create new forms of discrimination.
Exactly. We need to be very mindful of that. And finally, we need to think about the impact of AI agents on jobs and the workforce.
Yeah, a lot of people are worried about AI taking over their jobs.
And it's a valid concern. As these agents automate more tasks, there's a risk of job displacement, particularly for roles that involve a lot of repetitive or routine work.
So what can we do about it?
Well, both reports emphasize the importance of investing in education and training programs to help workers adapt to the changing demands of the job market.
So helping people learn new skills that are relevant in an AI-powered world.
Exactly. They also suggest exploring new models of work that leverage the strengths of both humans and AI, creating a more collaborative and sustainable future for everyone.
That's a great point. It's not about humans versus AI. It's about finding ways for humans and AI to work together to create a better future. And I think that's a perfect segue to our next topic. Let's take a closer look at some of the specific ways Oracle is implementing these AI agents within their applications, highlighting both the technical innovations and their commitment to responsible AI development. All right, let's get specific now. How is Oracle actually using these AI agents in their products?
Well, they're really pushing the boundaries with their implementations, and they highlight some really interesting examples in their report. One that really stood out to me was in their cloud HCM platform specifically for benefits administration.
Benefits administration. Okay.
So imagine an employee, let's call her Sarah. She's confused about her company's health insurance options,
Right.
right? So instead of digging through those long and complicated policy documents or waiting on hold forever with HR, she just types her question into a conversational agent that's built right into the HCM system.
So like a smart search bar, but just for HR stuff?
Kind of, but it's way more advanced than just a simple keyword search. What's happening behind the scenes is a whole team of AI agents springs into action to make sure Sarah gets the right answer.
A whole team.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. The conversational agent passes her question along to a supervisory agent.
The supervisor.
Exactly. And that agent analyzes the request and figures out the best way to get the information.
So like the project manager for answering Sarah's question.
You got it. Now, in this case, the supervisory agent might decide that they need a large language model, or LLM, to actually generate the text of the response.
Okay.
But to make sure that response is accurate, it needs to be based on the company's specific benefits policies. And that's where this really cool agent comes in, a retrieval augmented generation agent, or a RAG agent.
A RAG agent. What's that?
So the RAG agent is like the research expert. It knows how to access and navigate those policy documents, pulls out the relevant sections, and then feeds all that information to the LLM.
So it's like giving the LLM all the background info it needs.
Exactly. And to make things even more personalized, the supervisory agent might also call upon an HR employee representative agent.
Okay, what does that one do?
Well, that agent can access Sarah's specific employee data, like her current enrollment status or any special conditions that might apply to her.
So it's really tailoring the answer to Sarah's situation.
Precisely. It's pulling together all the pieces, the general policy, Sarah's details, even the nuances of her question to make sure she gets the most accurate and helpful response.
Wow, that's impressive. So the AI is doing all this work in the background, and then what?
Well, before sending the response back to Sarah, the supervisory agent does one final check just to make sure everything is correct, relevant, and easy to understand.
A quality control check.
Exactly. They might highlight specific parts of the policy or provide links to additional resources just to make sure Sarah has everything she needs.
That's a really cool example of how different AI agents can work together to solve a real problem.
Yeah, and Oracle provides another great example from their Fusion SCM platform, this time focusing on maintenance operations.
Maintenance operations. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like keeping machines running smoothly.
Right. So let's say a technician in a factory is trying to figure out what's wrong with a piece of equipment. She sees an error code and describes the issue to a conversational agent on her tablet.
Okay.
Now, instead of having to dig through manuals or call up an expert somewhere else, the conversational agent connects her with a whole team of AI agents that can help her diagnose the problem.
It's like having a virtual team of experts in our pocket.
Exactly.
Right.
A supervisory agent gets things started, figures out what's going on, and then calls on specialized agents as needed.
Okay, so what kind of specialists are we talking about?
Well, one agent might be a language model that's been trained on all the technical manuals, so it can suggest possible causes based on the error code and the symptoms.
Makes sense.
Another agent might look at sensor data from the equipment to see if there are any anomalies that could be causing the problem.
So they're gathering evidence from different sources.
Exactly. And another agent might search a knowledge base for similar cases to see if there are any troubleshooting tips or repair instructions that could help.
It's amazing how the AI can do all that in the background.
Yeah, it really is. But what happens if the AI can't figure it out?
Good question. That's where the humans come in, right?
You got it. If the AI agents hit a wall, or if the situation needs a judgment call, they can escalate the issue to a human expert.
So the AI is like the first line of defense.
You could say that.
Yeah.
And the best part is that the AI has already done a lot of the groundwork, gathering information, analyzing data, exploring potential solutions. So the human expert can jump in, make an informed decision, and get things back on track quickly.
It's a great example of how humans and AI can work together to solve problems more effectively.
Exactly. Now let's shift gears and look at one final example this time from Oracle Cloud ERP. I want to talk about how AI agents are transforming those back office functions that nobody really likes to deal with.
Like processing invoices and stuff.
Exactly. It's not the most glamorous work, but it's essential. And Oracle has a really interesting use case focusing on the role of a payables agent.
Payables. So like making sure vendors get paid.
Right. So traditionally, this involves a ton of manual data entry, checking for errors, routing invoices for approval. It's a very time-consuming process.
Yeah, AI can help with that.
Absolutely. AI agents can streamline and automate a huge chunk of this work.
So like having a virtual accounts payable clerk.
Precisely. A functional agent might start by collecting invoices from all the different sources, using OCR technology to extract the important data, like invoice numbers, vendor names, amounts.
So no more manual data entry.
That's the goal. Then a supervisory agent could orchestrate a series of checks to make sure everything is accurate.
Like making sure the invoice matches the purchase order.
Exactly. They could use utility agents to verify that information check for duplicate invoices, even flag any potential problems for a human to review.
So it's not just about speed, it's also about accuracy and reducing errors.
Right. And once the invoice has been checked and verified, a utility agent could automatically route it to the right manager for approval, sending a notification and providing all the necessary information.
So the manager can approve it with just a few clicks.
Exactly. It's all about making the process faster, smoother, and more efficient.
This is a great example of how AI can free up human employees from those tedious tasks and let them focus on more strategic work.
Absolutely. And it goes beyond just efficiency and accuracy. AI agents can also provide valuable insights into things like spending patterns, vendor performance, and other key metrics, which helps businesses make better decisions.
It's really impressive how Oracle is integrating AI agents into their systems. And it seems like they're really committed to doing it in a responsible way.
Absolutely. They talk a lot about building trust and transparency into their AI systems, making sure that users understand how the agents are making decisions and that they have control over their data.
And that's something that all companies need to prioritize as AI becomes more powerful and more widespread.
Couldn't agree more. We need to make sure that AI is used to empower people, not replace them, and that it contributes to a more equitable and sustainable future for everyone.
Well, this has been a fascinating deep dive into the world of AI agents. We've covered a lot of ground today, from the technical foundations to the real-world applications and the ethical considerations.
Yeah, it's a rapidly evolving field with incredible potential to change the way we work and live.
It really is. And I want to thank you for sharing your expertise with us today. It's been a pleasure.
The pleasure was all mine.
And to all our listeners out there, thanks for joining us on this exploration of AI agents. We encourage you to keep learning, keep exploring, and stay tuned for more deep dives into the world of emerging technology.